Hello, it's the boy. How you doing? We're back for another race at the beautiful Spa. Your boy gets to flex his knowledge of corner names. I love corner names. See, I loathe the lack of corner names in modern tracks as well. I don't care if they need to make up silly shitting names or stupid shit like that. Like fucking, I don't know, like in Kota, for example, there's so many cool corners in Kota. Just make it like fucking like Budweiser corner or something like that instead of like Turn 17. Spa's like the classic, isn't it? I mean, fucking every corner in Spa's got a brilliant corner name. So yeah, I'm 100% going to be leaning into that during qualifying and in the race as well. I love watching the onboards people go around. But this is going to be good. It was previously going to be a sprint race today in Spa. We've made some calendar changes due to, things that happen in real life. The start times of the real races were released, which clashed with our calendar. So we made some changes, of which Spa is now no longer going to be a sprint. But because we have more than 15 drivers, we've got almost a full grid today. 19 drivers racing. We're going to do a full knockout qualifying, including one Big H. I'm going to call them Big H, who is joining us in the Kick Sauber as a reserve driver today. First race for them. Yeah, Big Harv. You can see third down on the list there. Who's deputising for Tobias, or Craig Brook, as the username is, who is not able to join us today. So, excited to see how the new driver gets on. But as we said, 19 drivers. So, always love seeing a full grid. Big shout outs to the guys in the league who have gone through the recruitment, if you will. We got a lot of new names this season, and it's been some fantastic racing so far. I think last race in Kota was probably race of the season so far, but Spa's definitely going to be a contender, I think. Is it going to rain? That looks like a dry, sunny qualifying to me. So, as we always like to say, the drivers know what the weather will be like. I do not, so I will find out at the same time as you. I need to get my thing up. So I want the track map up. What do we want? Let's keep fastest lap, gap to the fastest lap on their broadcast cam. That should be fine. We always like to watch the first car to go out, and we are just waiting. Everybody's in the garage at the moment. That looks like a Mercedes driver getting ready to leave the pits. Is Kev going to be the first one out for us to follow? Both Red Bulls on their way out as well. I'm going to go down to Kev there. Have I lost sound? I feel like I've lost sound. No, there is sound. There is sound. So yeah, Kev is our first one out of the pits. So we will watch Kev as he goes forth on his flying lap in a minute. Oh, that's 20. There we are. Right, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is the 20th driver. That is our new driver in the Alpine. I think that's Musty in the Alpine who's joined us right at the death. So we will have a full grid. There we are. Right, so a full grid, 20 drivers. Very exciting. All right. So we will say, I don't know if they will have a chance to participate in qualifying, unfortunately, for them. But we will see. I'm not sure if they can take control of that car, if I'm honest with you. But we'll see how it goes. So yeah, just looking up the grid, both Ferraris are out, both Red Bulls are out, both Aston Martins are out. That's both Williams out. Haas is out. Kick of Big Harv is out as well. I think that is a V-Carb coming out as well. I think that might be Skarma coming out of the pits. McLaren coming out as well. So, going to be a very busy qualifying. But, as we say, we're going to stick on board with the first driver to go around as you see him hurtling around at the moment. Arwin and Fatboy Sim, two drivers in contention for a pole here. Fatboy Sim's looked very, very, very good in qualifying. All sitting on the medium tyres. Everybody else out on the softs for the moment. But we will watch Kev as he goes around and sets his first banker lap. Both Red Bulls look, if you at the bottom of your picture coming through the last couple of corners, might be like to give themselves a toe, but we're going to go on board with Kev as he starts his first lap. DRS on down the very small pit straight. We're up to the first corner here, known as La Source. Very slow second gear corner, excuse me. Take a lot of the apex. Don't wash too wide there because the sausage curb can mess you up, and it is going to be flat all the way down here through the very famous corner. You know it very well. Eau Rouge and Radion. Don't invalidate as you go all the way up. Try not to scrub at as much speed as possible, and then you wait on the camel straight here. The DRS is open, and then you're just basically waiting in the left-hand side all the way to your braking zone. You could brake really late here, probably about 100 meters, thereabouts, into the Lacombe chicane. Curbs can spit you out here, but Kev is very brave on them as he exits the Lacombe with shame down to Bruxelles, I believe this is called. Very awkward corner this. You really need to tuck it right up to the curb on the inside. It's very understeery because of the camber of the corner. Then we're through No Name here. Don't invalidate washing wide here. On to Pouon, or Double Gauche, as the Belgians call it. Very quick corner here. I think it's just a downshift. It's brilliant seeing the car come all the way around. Very, very sort of safe on the curbs there from Kev as it goes into Piff Paff. This is such an awkward chicane to drive in. The car just feels so understeery going through it as Kev is still keeping all four tyres on the track as he goes through Stavelo 1, and then you need a really good exit through Stavelo 2 here. You can use the curb to hook the car around, but you can also scrub a little bit of speed doing so, and then it's flat all the way through here. Blanchemont is one corner that's just not a corner in these modern cars, and then you got to set yourself up correctly for the bus stop. Light flashing on the back there means that he has run out of his deployment. Really important to get the bus stop right. Brake a little bit early to get a lot of curb there. Oh, it's a bit of a snap from Kev there as the car kicks around on him. He exits bus stop, crosses the line, and that's a 1:44.4. That's your first time on the board. We're going to go on board with Dale now as he looks for a yellow flag there as somebody has potentially gone a bit wide. Dale crosses the line now and sets a 1:43.9 from Dale. Arwen, I think, is just starting his lap or he invalidated. I'm not sure. Having a look, Michelando said of 1:44.4 there. Gio just getting out of the way of his teammate, excuse me, as we see Fatboy Sim cross the line with a 1:44.0 on the medium tyres. That's Chubby Slug with a 2:04, Devereaux with a 1:44.4. I'm going to see if I can find Big Harv here as he crosses the line. Oh, he's invalidated, so he's going into the pits. As we see who else is on track now at the moment. Plenty of drivers out. Vibora is just letting people go. Rob, I think, is on his flying lap at the moment. As he waits for the car to get out of the way. Having a look, Vibora, sorry, had to cross the line instead of 1:45.8 as the Alpine gets in the way of the Aston Martin. Big drama going on there. Rob will set a time of a 1:44 exactly. The Alpine getting all up in the business of the Aston Martin as they both come to a stop. Chiv, I'm going to go on board with now. Don't know what happened there. So Luke is still in the pits having a look. Yep. So Chiv is about to finish his lap. Now we'll see what Gio is doing. I think Gio's on a lap at the moment. Mr. Seedy is also on a lap. We'll have a look. As Chiv sets a 44.3 in the McLaren. Mr. Seedy, sorry, is just going to be... he's invalidated, so he is just backing out of it. Arwen still at pace, has just started his lap, actually, so we'll watch pace in the V-Carb as it goes around. Gio, I think, is going to be crossing the line in a few minutes. As we watch the V-Carb go through. Pace obviously started the season very well in Portugal. Always a contender for a good finish. Pace. Yellow flag still out at the moment. There's a lot of drivers congregating at the end of Sector 2 there. As we go on board, that was someone else across the line there to set their time. Forgive me, I missed what it was. I think Arwen might have improved, actually. Skarma's still in the pits, Luke's still in the pits. Gio, I think, is just going to cross the line in a few minutes. In fact, let's go on board with Gio as he sets his time. See where he puts it on the board. As Gio sets a 44.0. Strong time from the Haas driver. I'm going to go back on board with Pace here in the V-Carb on the TV pod. Just a downshift, completely flat through Pouon there. Love seeing the cars run all the way through there. As you see, there's yellow flags all over the place at the moment as drivers are just trying to get out of the way of each other. I'm going to go back on board here. I think that might be another car crossing the line. I'm just having a look. Are the drivers starting their laps or if invalidated? We see him run down the back straight. Saving a lot of battery paces. just wants to get a time on the board at the moment. Don't want to invalidate, you just want to bank a lap in, just so you can keep yourself safe, just so you know where you are in contention with the rest of the pack. It looks like Musty is not going to have a chance to set a time. His pace goes a little bit deep in the bus stop there, but does get it turned in quite well. Let's see where he puts it. It's P5, it's a 44.0, the exact same time as Gio. Gio, if I had a nickel for the amount of times two drivers have set exactly the same time as one another in this season so far, oh, I'd have several, wouldn't I? Tesco is just going to cross the line, I think is... Oh, sorry, that was Kev, excuse me. Kev goes into the 43s there, alongside Dale, 43.8 on the worn softs. So very strong time from him there. Scarma's out on his outlap. I think Baz is going at the moment, as is Tesco, but I'm going to stick on board with Bosch. Turn it off here as we see the kick driver go all the way through. Bosch can chuck in a very good qualifying time. He's been known to do it before. Started P3 in Abu Dhabi last season, the kick driver. So he's got a bit of pace in him. As we see him navigate the Lecombe chicane, goes a little bit wide of the apex in the first one, but keeps it. Oh, he touches the gravel. He keeps it all. He doesn't invalidate, but they will have lost a few tenths there, just dipping a wheel in as he goes through Broussel's car, fighting as it just doesn't really want to turn. It doesn't really want to cooperate. As he goes through No Name, how's he going to navigate this? Does very well. Keeps it very safe on the curbs. And we see him go flat through Paul. Brilliant camera this, as the cars just stick to the road like glue. Move it over to the left-hand side for the Piff Paff. Very silly name. Curbs can spin you quite a lot here. As you see him brunch a little bit wide. The car dancing on the limit there. As he navigates the two Stavelos. The yellow flags, oh sorry, the green flags waving as there are drivers on slow laps behind him. And now you just wait all the way through here. There's a half corner here. There's Blanchimont, which is completely flat, as well as he navigates now. And you just got to wait for your braking in the bus stop chicane. As we see him slam on the anchors, uses the curbs very nicely. And we'll see where Bosch puts it as he crosses the line. And sets a 44.8 from Bosch there. Up and down the grid, Tesco has set a 44.0 as well. Let's see if any other drivers have set times. Baz has set a 44.9. Mr. CD is out on his outlap now. We'll check in on Skarma, see how he's doing. Lucas is still in the pits. Big Harv is also out. I think he's coming to the final session now as Dale retires up at the top. Dale says, "You're not going to beat my time. Thank you very much. Go out and beat that." Skarma touches a little bit of the curb on the inside of Stavelo 2 there. The car just looked like it upset itself very slightly. I was looking up at the top of the grid there. As we have a look. Big Harv did set a time there of a 44.8 there, so just alongside his teammate as we see Skarma as he comes round the last couple of corners. Oh, it's a car, fights him a little bit, but he's kept it safe, runs out of deployment, goes and sets a 44.7. He might have to go again, we'll see. I'm going to go on board now with Mr. Seedy as he is going to start his lap now. We'll see how the Alpine driver does. Best career qualifying, best career finish in COTA. So excited to see how the Alpine driver does as Luke finally comes out of the pits as well. We'll go on board with the Alpine driver as he navigates turn 1 as he just misses the Ferrari coming out of the pits. As we approach Eau Rouge and Raidillon, probably some of the most famous corners on the circuit. Very, very well tied. Kept very tidy. He's invalidated. Excuse me. Oh, I missed it, but he must have gone wide on Eau Rouge. It is very easy to do there. Thank you, Kowalski, for your sub as well. Very, very kind. Thank you for supporting the commentary. As we have a look, Lucalis is just going to get ready now. He's out on the mediums. So as it stands, Fatboy Sim still has at his medium times. He is currently, I think he's about to start another lap on the mediums. Yeah, he is on the mediums. I think that those scrub mediums, see if he improves. Cut-off time here is looking like it's probably going to be a 44.6. I think we'll keep you safe. We'll have to see. Mr. Seedy's still yet to set a time. Chubby Slug is still yet to set a competitive time. Lucalis also still yet to set a time. As we stay on board with Flatboy Sim. Obviously in contention for a podium in COTA before his incident with Rob. Very, very dramatic. You see the car pinned all the way up through Eau Rouge there. We'll see how he does. We're going to go on the TV cam here, because I want to stay on board with Fatboy Sim as he navigates Sector 2. Very technical sector here. You see, takes a little bit of curb on the left, a little bit of curb on the right. Takes a bit more curb, obviously. Oh, he washes it a bit wide, dips a wheel into the gravel for good measure, and has invalidated Very easy to invalidate there if the plank goes over as Tesco improves to a 43.6. Both Mercedes drivers looking very, very, very competitive there as Fatboy Sim decides to mow some grass for good measure as well. Having a look here at Lukeless, who is going to be out on his lap. We'll watch him. In fact, I am going to sit on board with Luke, and I'm going to be quiet while you listen to the sound of that McLaren sing. It's a 44-0 there. 44-0-4-4 from Luke on the medium tyres. Always a pleasure to see Luke absolutely throw a car around a circuit. Very good from him there. Love the sound of the curbs in Spa. I know it sounds silly as we watch Bosch go and start his lap at the moment. Arwen does improve to a 43-4 there as well. So a lot of drivers getting into the 43s. But as I say, the curbs just sound really nice in Spa. I can't really describe how what I'm trying to say, but it's a good sound. Spa's a great circuit. I'm just going to watch Mika Lando as he goes around. As we have a look up and down the grid, it's 3 minutes left. So Chiv is out on a lap at the moment. Luke has just set his lap. He won't have time to set another one. Let's have a look. Pace is out on a lap at the moment. Mika Lando's out, who we're watching right now, up in broadcast view. Devereaux and Skarma have both come out. They need to improve. Bosch is also out at the moment. As you see, Rob retire up at the top. He says he's fine. Big Harvest in the pits in 15, so he is barely safe. But Baz, Vibora, Mr. CD, and Chubby Slug are all out on track below him. So we'll have to see. Mika Lando will round the final corner to see how he can improve his time. And does improve to P4. That's a 43.9 there. As I see, where is Baz? I've lost him there. There he is. So Baz rounds the corner. Is he going to get himself out of the drop zone? He does it. It's a 44.9. No, he's starting. Excuse me. So Baz was out on his outlap. So he's still got his a chance to go. I think that's Pace rounding the corner now. No, that's Skarma. Excuse me. If I can find the VCAP driver who crosses the line to a 44.7 to start his lap. Difficult to say which drivers are doing 2 warm-up laps. So Pace is out on a lap at the moment. We'll stick on board with him as I just keep watching. Chiv has gone into the pits, so he will not improve his time. Still says in a 43.9. Gio is out at the moment on an outlap, excuse me. So Mr. CD's in the pits with a 46.7. He will not have a chance to go out again. So Mr. CD is out as it stands. I think Bosch improved there to a 44.6, so he is just barely safe. But there are drivers on laps below him. Big Harv, again, is still right on the cusp of the knockout zone there. We'll have to see. Chubby Sog, I think, is out. I think he's just starting his lap at the moment. We'll see Pace cross the line now. Does he improve his lap time? He doesn't. It's a 44.0 still for Pace, so P11 might be okay for him. We'll have to see. Vibora is out. He's just starting his lap now. Gio is just coming around. Oh, and Vibora's gone wide. He's invalidated. So Vibora is also out. 2 drivers out as it stands. Chubby Slug is going to be the one to watch. Here, we'll see how Chubby Slug does. As I'm just checking, Baz, I think, is pretty close to coming around the corner. Gio did just cross the line in time. We'll see if Baz can improve He's run out of his deployment. He's got no more battery left. Really difficult to manage your battery here. Oh, it's a big stab for Baz. He is going to run it across the line. Has he done enough to knock Big Harv out on his debut? Baz crosses the line for P12 with a 44-4. And Big Harv on his debut is out. Big drama there. We'll see if Skarma has enough. Skarma's in the pits. So Skarma's in P15. He could potentially be knocked out here by Chubby Slug. Geo is still going around now, but he's obviously safe. So Skarma, right on the precipice here, pitted on his flying lap. I think he might have invalidated, or something might have happened. If Chubby Slug improves in his time here, Skarma, who's usually been in contention for pole, will be out in Q1. Big drama. Chubby Slug's got 2 more corners to negotiate. Can the Ferrari driver knock out Skarma? He's through! Chubby Slug to P12, and Skarma is out! Skarma, Big Harv, Vibora, and Mr. Seedy, along with Musty, who joined us late, are all knocked out in Q1. The big shock there from the VCARB driver. Don't know if he ran into traffic, don't know if he invalidated. I wasn't able to get on board. I only got on board with him as he went into the pits. So, Chubby Slug at the death, knocking out the VCARB driver. Big drama here. In Spa, there's always qualifying drama in Spa. Look it up though, Arwin was our fastest with 43.4. Both Mercedes looking very, very competitive as well. Dale right up there on the softs as well. Mika Lando up in P4. I know Fatboy Sim and Lucullus, who are probably favourites for pole here, are both out on the mediums. But some very good times being put down at the moment. Both Williams through as well, as we get ready for Q2. So yes, to recap, as I said, Skarma, P16, Big Harv on his debut, an unfortunate P17, Vibora in P18, Mr. Seedy in P19, and then Musty, our new Alpine driver, way down in P20 as he joined us late and wasn't able to go out in Q1. And now we get to do it all again. 15-minute session is for Q2, and only the top 10 go through. Very exciting. So I think we're just waiting for another driver to be wheeled in. Excuse me. Every time I do these commentaries, I've got myself a beer to go with it because, you know, beer heals the soul. I've gone for the I've gone for a hazy pale here, a proper craft beer from Vocation. But I tell you what, it's pretty good. Always a big fan. Always take. I went through a period last season where I was like trying to get a beer that had the same, that started with the same letter as the track, which was good for. So I did like Asahi for Austria, well, Austria, name of the track is Rebel Ring, but you know, I did like Sapporo for Spa and stuff like that. It was good fun. It was a struggle trying to find one with a Z, I'll tell you that. I'm just gonna go through and clear my notifications. There we go. Right. I tell you what, the clouds have gotten just that ever bit more overcast, haven't they? It's gotten a little bit darker. I wonder if we'll see a threat of rain. There's always a threat of rain at Spa, it feels like. It's very rarely dry running, isn't it? So that would be very exciting if we got rain sort of in the qualifying or in the race as well. But I will find out at the same time as you as we load into the session for Q2. And yeah, the clouds definitely hanging a bit lower in the air. We'll have to say, the drivers will know, obviously, if there's any risk of rain. I can't imagine there will be. It probably doesn't look that dark enough. I don't know if you noticed that there in the top left. It looked like the counter went down and then went back up again. Because this is a perfect game with no bugs whatsoever. But we're waiting at the moment. We saw Kev go around for the first flying lap in Q1. We will do the same for whoever driver comes out first here. A little tradition I like to do. But I won't repeat. If Kev goes out first, I won't repeat the same driver. I like to have a bit of variety. Variety is the spice of life, isn't it? We have seen a driver up the top there. Go on. I think that was one of the V-Carbs, I think. No, it was one of the Williams, I believe. Was that? Of Baz, it was. So Baz will be the first one to take us around. But looking up, Kev, I think, has come out. I think both Mercedes might be out, actually. There's a Ferrari out as well. Spa being such a long track, one of the longest on the calendar, you actually have to get out quite early to set a banker lap. It was Chubby Slug. Tesco, the other Mercedes, is also out. The McLaren of Chiv, I think that is coming out. Yes, it is. And Devereaux in the other Williams, as Baz gives us a little wiggle for the camera. There's another Red Bull out there. That's Dale coming out in the Red Bull, and that is Michelando in the Aston Martin. The Haas of Gio, I think, is coming out at the moment. If I can find... Yeah, there's the Haas of Gio, who's out. Lucalis is also out. Rob also coming out. So a lot of drivers coming out to set out their laps at the moment. You have got time for 2 laps, even though it is quite long. Yeah, so we'll have a look if any drivers are out on the... Yeah, so everybody's out except for Gio on the mediums. Thinks he can set a bank lap on the mediums. Expect drivers to use 2 fresh pairs of softs here. Or some drivers lower down the qualifying order might run a used pair, as we see Arwin and Pace, excuse me, go out. So it's just Bosch in the pits still and Fatboy Sim as we stay on board with Baz. As we look to try and go down the order. Kev, I think, will be the next... no, it'll be Tesco is the next one to watch. If I can find the... Yeah, Tesco's the next one to watch. But we're going to go on board with Baz. And I'm going to do a drive-by as well. I'm actually going to do a drive-by on TV Pod as we see Baz set his first lap of Q2. Cross the line to the right-hand side of the track. You move over to the left-hand side of the track for La Source. You could brake at 75 meters here as he does. You use a little bit of the curb there. Don't go too wide because the sausage curb will upset you quite a lot. Hug the wall a bit on the right here and set yourself up for a rouge. You want to be as straight as possible. You want to scrub as little speed. You want to take the curb on the right, sorry, curb on the left, curb on the right, curb on the left again. You can use a bit of the exit there as the kick gets out of the way. DRS open. Really easy to invalidate in a rouge, so you've got to make sure you get your line right. And you're just waiting on the left-hand side of the track here as you climb up to the Lecombe chicane. Brake really hard at 75 meters. You can use a lot of the curb on the right, a little bit of curb on the left as Baz attacks it. Be careful in the exit of the chicane because it's really easy to invalidate. You go down into Bruxelles now. Brake when the curb appears. Down to second gear. You see it goes a bit deep there. You want to be right up against the curb on the inside. As you go through No Name, you can use the curb there, but don't go too wide and dip a wheel in the gravel. All the way up to Pouon. It's a downshift to 7th gear. Completely flat. There's a little safety lift for Baz there as he keeps it clear of the curb on the right-hand side as to not invalidate. Just trying to get through one piece. Piff Paff here. Really understeery. The curbs can spin you quite a lot. You just want to get the car turned in as much as you can. Don't go too wide of the curb there because of the gravel. Enter through Stavelo 1. Use a lot of curb on exit. And you want to keep it almost flat here through Stavelo 2. In caps, he keeps it completely flat through Stavelo 2. And now you're just waiting down this back straight. You've got to manage your deployment. You've got to manage your battery level because you can run out of deployment before the chicane. But you've got Blanchimont to do first, which is completely flat in these modern cars. It's barely a corner. As you come up to the bus stop, brake at 100 meters there. Take a lot of curb on the right-hand side there. Take a little bit on the left-hand side to rotate the car. Slap the DRS on, cross the line, and Baz will set us off with a 44-3 from Baz there. As I try and find Tesco here, who's the next to cross the line. The Mercedes driver will come through and set a 44-3 as well. Slower than Baz there. Chubby Slug is next across the line. He sets a 45-4. Devereaux, I'm going to see as Kev goes to 44-1 there. That's the kick driver of Bosch is starting his lap. Devereaux sets a 44-8. That'll be Chiv, I think that is, in the McLaren coming around, who's invalidated. We'll watch Gio here. Dale and Michelando are still yet to cross the line unless they're going into the pits. Dale has pitted. I think, Gio has just clobbered the bus stop chicane there, but does keep it perfectly fine. Sets a 45-4, quicker than Chubby Slug on the medium tyres. As we have a look now, Luke will round the final corner now. We'll see what Luke can do on the soft tyres. It looks like it's going to be a good time from Luke. It's comfortably into the 43s there, 43.6. Solid time from him there. Rob is next across the line. Arwen has invalidated. Rob sets a 43.7. Pace will cross the line here. End the V-carb and set a 45.5. Room for improvement there. Fatboy Sim is also flying on his lap. We'll see where he goes for his attempt at, well, not pole, but top of Q2. Chubby Slug, Geo, Pace will definitely have to go again. You want to be comfortably into the 44s to get yourself through. 44.5 could be the cutoff point here. We'll see what Fatboy Sim does as he crosses the line on the soft tyres. That's a 43.2, 4/10 on Lucalis there on the match tyre. Ferrari looking very, very competitive indeed. Bosch is the last person to be on his lap. We'll go to broadcast. Bosch is invalidated. Bosch has invalidated his lap. Has he fueled to go for another lap here? He's not. So, Bosch will be in the pits. Now, Michelando's come out, so we will have somebody to keep on board with. 8 minutes and 55 seconds left, so drivers will just navigate their ways into the pits now, slap some more fuel in the car, slap a fresh pair of softs in, and then wait and pick their moment to go out again. 3 minutes, I expect most drivers to start coming out. Some drivers like to go a little bit early, don't they, to try and get a bit of clear air. I know Fatboy Sim likes to go out a few minutes early as to not be bothered on track. Dale and Chiv and Arwen have all come out here, so drivers are going to come out and try and set their banker lap now while they have the time to. They might be a little bit pressed to set the lap and then come back in. They should be okay. As we keep on board here with Michelando, the Welshman, just warming up his tyres as he prepares to do his first lap of the session. Yeah, looking up and down the grid, I think a 44.5 is the expected cutoff, if I'm honest. I think you're going to have about 5 or 6 drivers into the 43s. I think Michelando will get into the 43s. I think Arwen Chiv was in the 43s in the last session as well, so you really want to be right up there. Gio obviously has still got to go out again on the soft tyre, unless he thinks he can get through on the medium. Chubby and Pace I expect to go out again as well. I think they've got a bit more time in pocket. We'll watch Michelando as he goes through on his lap of the cars there, just navigating on their out laps. I think the next one to start will be Dale. Yes, it is. So we'll watch Michelando as he goes through now, and then we'll hop aboard with those other cars on their out laps. I think Fatboy Sim's actually lining up to go out again in the background there. It didn't look like he went into the pits. Unless it was Chubby Slug, I'm not sure. We'll have a look, but we'll have a look in a minute. At the moment, the focus is on Michelando as he navigates his way through Eau Rouge and Radion. Love the camera as you see the car climb up the hill there. Keeps it all tidy, doesn't invalidate, DRS on early. As I say, you're just waiting here. It's so easy to almost outbrake yourself a little bit because of how long it takes you to get to the corners there. Very, very well navigated through Lake Com. That Aston Martin is looking absolutely planted from Michelando there to see how he navigates Bruxelles. It's a solid lap so far from the Aston Martin driver. Very, very tidy through Bruxelles. Very well done there. No name, really easy to wash wide here. Oh, it's a lot of curb, but he keeps it. Excuse me. He keeps it valid. Excuse me, as he navigates Pouon again very well, uses just the right amount of curb. Piff Paff here, we'll see. This car could be. This is a really dangerous corner if you are on no TC, but he does very well there. Oh, the car just leaning on the rear tyre there, coming through the exit. That was a brilliant angle. He's absolutely assaulting these curbs here. This is great to watch for Michelando as he's just got a few more corners left as he goes through Sector 3. This looks like it'll be a tidy lap from the Aston Martin driver. Oh, the sparks as he goes off onto the green sort of turf there, going through Blanchemont was brilliant. Let's see how he navigates bus stop here. Does he spin the wheels? Does he get it through? It's very clean and tidy through the final couple of corners. Michelando will cross the line now and sets a 43.3. Brilliant lap from Michelando. Very well done there. As we have a look, Dale is just on, going to finish his lap now. We'll see what he can do. I'm going to check on Arwen in a minute. I think Arwen might have dipped out, actually. Dale goes through and sets a 44.0. Very solid from him. Chiv will be the next to cross the line now. I think that's Kev who is starting his lap as well. Chiv will cross the line. He sets a 43.7, right up with his teammate there. So good effort from him. Arwen sets a 42.9. First driver into the 42s. Very, very impressive there. Tesco is out on his, he's on his out lap, excuse me. Let's have a look and see. I think Kev is on his lap at the moment. He is indeed. We'll see what Kev does in the Mercedes driver, see if he improves. Bosch is still yet to set a competitive time. He's out on a lap at the moment. Gio, who switched to the soft tyres. Chubby and Pace still need to go out in the knockout zone. Tesco's on his out lap. Devereaux is also on his out lap there in 11th, first of the knockouts. We're going to keep on board here as we see Kev go around. Arwen set of time, Michelando, Chiv. Luke is still in the pits. I'm not sure how long is left because of the yellow flags. So Kev of the drivers is the first of the drivers in pack order there to be out on a flying lap. I can't imagine there's that long left of the session. Bosch, I think, is just getting ready to go around again, looking at the bottom of my screen there. We'll see what the kick driver can do. He's on fresh softs. Tesco has started his lap, so we'll check on him in a minute. Baz, I think that is, who's just come out of the pits. So we'll see what Kev does as he has to navigate some traffic there. Kick keeping well out of the way there. And he's right at the back of the Aston Martin driver there, of Michelando, who's also just going into the pits. We'll give Tesco Kev a very tiny toe there. Aston Martin does keep out of the way. We'll see if Kev has done enough to put himself any more safe as he rounds the last few corners. Let's see what he can do as he crosses the line now. P4, 43.4, very good lap from him there. Bosch is the next to start on his flying lap, so we'll watch him. As I'm just looking, Lucalis has come out as well, so he thinks he might be at risk. There's 3 minutes left of the session, so drivers do have a chance to go out again. Fatboy Sim has retired. He doesn't think he is going to be... I think he's right to do that. I think he's going to be absolutely fine. Bosch does have to get this lap nailed, though. He's not going to have a chance to go out again. Devereaux has started his lap. Baz is on an out lap. Chubby's on an out lap. Hayes is on a lap. Gio is still in the pits. So Gio needs to get a move on if he wants to give himself a chance to get out of the drop zone. So have a look. Dale is just in the pits now. Rob, I expect Dale and Rob will probably come out as well. Tesco is also on a lap, so we're going to move off Bosch a sec and see what Tesco is up to as he navigates the last couple of corners. Gio is out, as is Chubby. So we'll see. This is going to be a very exciting end to this session. I think we're going to have times all over the place. I'm just going to go on board with Tesco here. As we see the Mercedes navigate the last two corners, Tesco crosses the line to P3, 43.3, puts Devereaux and Baz at risk. The Dale definitely at risk. So we'll see how he gets on. Go back on board with Bosch there. There's a Ferrari crossing the line of Chubby Slug, who's starting his lap. That is also Baz starting his lap. So we'll watch Bosch to the end. We'll see where he gets to. Kev, I think, is on his in-lap. Then we'll go on board with Devereaux, who is just navigating through Sector 2 now. That's the Haas who's just getting out of the way. I think Pace is also on a lap at the moment. Yeah, it must be. As we see Bosch navigate the last two corners. Has Bosch done enough to put himself at a chance to be in for Q3? As Bosch crosses the line to 44.1, puts the Williams out, but is right on the precipice. Devereaux has invalidated. He is out. He is P12 at best for the Williams driver. So he is one to be out. Pace, who's currently P15. Well, I see how he is doing. Looking on the TV pod, I'm not sure how competitive a time he is. I think he's going to be all right. We'll have a look. Gio, I think, will have time to cross the line. I'm just having a look up and down. That is Lucalis on a lap as well. Sorry, Chiv, Rob, and Dale did go out. They did go out, as did Michelando. So Arwen is the only one in the pits at the moment. Obviously, up in P1, I think he should be fine. Pace crosses the line. It's P7. It's a 43.6. Knocks Bosch out. And Bosch might be out unless he fueled to go again. I'm going to see where Lucalis is. Now, Lucalis goes P2 with a 43.2. And I want to find Baz here, who is currently on a lap with a chance to put himself free. Bosch, I think, unless he is going again, is going to be in trouble. I think Chubby Slug, actually, is the one ahead of him here. Yeah, we'll see what Chubby Slug is up to down in P15 as well. Gio is currently on his lap. He did get there in time. So Devereaux, I think Devereaux might have gone again, actually. I think Devereaux fueled to go again, so he's still within a chance. So we'll see. So Chubby Slug goes to P9, 43.7, puts Dale at risk now. As we see Baz cross the line there. Baz, 43. So Baz is starting his time. Excuse me. Michelando, I think that is currently out. I think Rob is starting his lap as well. I need to see where. I'll have a look. Bosch here is... Oh, that's a big snap from Bosch. No, he's in the pit. So Bosch is out. Bosch is the first of the drivers to be out, as the flag is flying. So we'll see Dale has taken the flag. Dale is out in P11. So Dale and Bosch are out as it stands. So we'll have a look. Baz is still going. Devereaux is out of fuel. So Devereaux is out. So Baz still has a chance. Gio also still has a chance. They have all yet to take the flag. I'm going to check on Gio here in the Haas. So Rob, I think, is on a lap at the moment. So he's probably going to be... Well, actually, Rob might still be at risk here. We'll see Gio cross the line. If he can improve on his time, Gio crosses the line to P7, 43.5. Rob is at risk here. Rob has to finish his lap here, or he is at risk of being knocked out. As we check on Baz here, who's actually got Rob right behind him. So Chubby Slug is the one at risk. Chiv is also on a lap. This is going to be very interesting at the end now. So Chiv is going on a lap. Chubby Slug is not on a lap at the moment. So Chubby Slug could be at risk. We'll see what Baz does here. As Baz... Oh, it's a big stab coming under the final corner. Oh, is he getting enough? We'll have to see. Baz goes and crosses the line. Oh, it's P14. Does Rob get himself into Q1? Of course he does. It's P8 for Rob. It's a 43.6. And Chubby Slug, unfortunately for him, as he enters the pits, is out in Q2. Chiv will pit. He does not need to finish his lap. And Chubby Slug, at the very last minute, is knocked out of qualifying. Dale with a 44.0 as well. Bosch, Baz, and Devereaux are our drivers knocked out. Big heartbreak for Baz there. Big snap at the end of the bus stop. It's so easy to do, to light up the throttle there. Those are your 5 out, and it is a 10-car dash for pole position. Lucalis and Fatboy Sim very, very, very close to each other. There's, what, 6/100ths splitting the two drivers there. But Arwen with a fierce time. First car into the 42s. Tesco right up there. Michelando as well. Only a 10th off of Lucalis and Fatboy Sim. And then Kev is only a 10th off them. Gio with a 10th off. Rob and Pace matching the time there. But I think Rob has a little bit more in pocket there. You've come to the stream. Welcome in, Bosch. Very big drama at the end of Q2 there. There was a serious chance for Rob to be knocked out. Big drama. But we'll see how we go. So one Red Bull, both McLarens, both Mercedes, both Aston Martins, one Ferrari, one Haas, one VCARB through. So who will be on pole for Spa as the cloud cover comes in over the Ardennes Mountains in the background? It's very exciting, isn't it? I'm so excited for qualifying in Spa. It's always good fun here. As we see, I love seeing the mix of flags as well. We've got the Dutch flag there, a couple of Welsh flags, a couple of Scottish flags. I know there's a couple of English folk in there as well. Weatherman says, don't tell me. Don't tell me, Bosch. It's all a secret. I like to find out at the same time as the viewers do. And I tell you what, the cloud cover is still there. I don't think there'll be rain in qualifying. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit in the race. I love a bit of rain in the race. But I think it'll be a dry quali. As we just waiting to get my menu back up there. So we will see. Who's the first driver to come out then? 10 drivers, 12 minutes, 2 laps each. Who will be on pole? I think it's going to be between Arwen, Luke, and Fatboy Sim, if I'm honest. I think Fatboy Sim might just have the edge. If I was a betting man, that's who I'd put my money on. You know, that boy can qualify. His record around Spa is unbelievable. He's absolutely brilliant around this circuit. And Arwen, I think, is going to be the first. Or is it Rob? We'll have to see. I think it might be Rob there. To come to first round. He is. So we'll watch on board with Rob as he sets his first lap, his banker lap, if you will, for Q3. I'm expecting... Oh, excuse me. I'm expecting drivers to be out on the Warns. I tell you what, though. It just look just ever so slightly more hazy, doesn't it? And do you know what? Every driver right now is currently coming out, so there might be a risk of rain. That would be very exciting, isn't it? Rob is never usually the first driver to go out to sea, which makes me think. It makes me wonder if there's something on the radar. So everybody except Pace is out at the moment. I happen to know Pace has been experiencing some technical issues today, as I was talking to him in practice, so hopefully he's able to have a race without any serious issues. Very curious to see how this happens here. I think they're all... Now, if this is a regular dry session, right, then you'll see drivers go out on worn softs, and then they'll do their flying lap with the fresh ones, but if there's a risk of the weather, then you could see drivers use their softs here. I don't know how viable it is a race. I don't think it's a viable race tyre, if I'm honest. So you could see drivers use all their softs in qualifying. I'll tell you what, Dale, I think it's Arwen, excuse me, is right on the back of that Aston Martin. He either wants to be leading this or he wants the tow. I think he is. Yeah, so Arwen is actually going to be our driver that we spectate as he goes ahead of Rob. Rob will say, thank you very much, I'll take the tow as Pace does come out. So Pace, on the bottom of your picture there, just a few seconds behind the last car there. So Arwen will be our first car to go around in Q3 in Spa. We'll see what he can do as Arwen rounds the chicane and starts. So we'll go on board with the Red Bull driver, DRS Open. As you see, Rob in the background going to get a little bit of a tow from him, but we're going to focus on him as he navigates La Source, leaves the apex a little bit wide, but uses a lot of curb on exit, helps maintain the speed, and you keep the speed going all the way up through here. You're completely flat through Eau Rouge and Radion. Don't invalidate, especially in Q3. It's so important to get times on the board. He does keep it clean, and you're still flat all the way to the Lacombe chicane, so that first corner is so important to get the exit right. We'll see as Arwen goes to navigate the Lacombe chicane. How much curb does he use? Not a lot there. Uses quite a lot of the inside, though, to cut the course a little bit and keeps it very tight. He uses a fair bit of curb on the exit, but it keeps it clean. Navigates Brussels, tucks it in very nicely. Arwen, if you remember in Q2, said a 42 was the first driver into the 42s. So we'll see if he can replicate it here. Goes a bit wide on No Name, but again, doesn't invalidate. He is dancing on the limits of what his car is capable of. Throws the car into poo on there. Washes a little bit wide on the curb, but keeps it in the white lines. As he navigates through Piff Path, you can gain a lot of time here if you can get the car set up to cooperate with you. See the car lean on its rear right tyre there as you exit the chicane. As he goes through Stavler 1 and 2, a little bit of a snap as he's trying to get on throttle as soon as he can. Pushed it very close to the white line there. You can see me checking to make sure he hasn't invalidated. Arwen is right on the limit there. As he navigates through Blanchemont, excuse me, light flashing means he's run out of his deployment, but it's not going to matter now. It's just 2 more corners to navigate. Arwen goes a little bit wide on the first bus stop, but gets the car rotated very well, crosses the line, and he sets a 43.3, so a couple tenths off what he was capable of before. Rob sets a 43.8. I'm wondering if the track is just a little bit hazy then. Gio is next across the line with a 43.5. Chiv goes and sets a 44.0. That's Fatboy Sim next across the line with a 43.0. As Tesco sets a 43.6. Kev has invalidated in the background there. So we'll check on board with him. Who am I looking at? Pace is going to be the next one. Lucalis is also just going to be crossing the line in a minute. So we'll see what Lucalis does. He sets a 43.6 as well. So drivers a little bit off their times in Q2. So we'll see what's going on there as I try and get rid of that on my phone there. There we go. As we see Pace navigate the last few corners. Kev with invalidation, so hopefully the rain doesn't come in. Pace pits. Pace is pitting. So, Pace has scrubbed his tyres. As we see the drivers all flying around, all bouncing into each other, trying to get in. Everybody wants that time to be able to settle in, have the time, the luxury of time to choose their tyres, to make sure the car is refueled as well. Just having a look at the general chat as the drivers are chatting to each other, as we just see everybody navigate on their way in. So Pace and Kev both pitted. Kev invalidated. I'm not sure why Pace pitted. Maybe he wasn't happy with his time. Kev is going to go out now. So this is going to be Kev's only chance now for his time. He's not going to be able to go out, set a lap, and then come back and set another lap. So we'll go on board with the Mercedes driver to see what he can do. It was very strong in Q1. Was right up there with his teammate Tesco. So we'll see how competitive he can be at the death here when it really matters. I tell you what, the sun's starting to peek out a little bit. So maybe all that was a bit of a scare for nothing. But it looks just ever bit brighter now. So maybe there isn't necessarily a risk of rain in qualifying. As we see all the drivers just navigating their way back into the pits. Now Lucalis the last one to go in. And Kev has the track all to himself as we sit and watch the Mercedes drive. I'll turn off the spectator screens as well In fact, when Kev goes around and starts his lap, I think we might do a little bit of a listen as well. We'll go on the onboard cam as well, so you can hear it. Because we did Luke in Q2, or Q1 even, I think it was. We did him last week as well. So, you know, I'm not playing favourites. As we see, Pace is coming out at the moment. So Pace is going out. He wants to settle out early as well. Doesn't want to encounter any traffic. I know Pace is partial to taking a bit of time to get some heat into his tyres as well. He really, signifies the importance of the outlap. So we'll see how he does as we watch Kev. As I said, when we go around and we'll start as he sets his only Q3 lap here. We'll listen on board as you can watch the Mercedes driver throw the car around. I think he's got a career best qualifying of P8. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I will shut up. Put the spectator menu off, put the sound up on your screens, and listen to the Mercedes roar. And it is a 43.8 from Kev there. We'll put in P6 at best. We're going to check in on Pace as well, who's navigating his way through Sector 2 there. Love hearing the cars on the curbs, as I said earlier. You also hear the tyres scream at you a little bit, don't they? Oh, and Pace was so aggressive through Port there. I thought he was going to invalidate, but keeps it within the white lines. Pace is absolutely flying here at the moment. As we watch him navigate his way through, Pace is not afraid to absolutely hustle a car around a track. He's been a little bit off the pace, if you'll excuse the pun, through Q1 and Q2, but I expect him to put an absolutely fierce lap in here. We'll see how he does. He's just got a few more corners to navigate, as everybody now is on their outlap, Tesco included. Arwen's actually on a flying lap, so we'll check in with him in a minute. Kev obviously is going to be on his in lap. He's the last one, so the first one to cross the line. Pace there as he just clobbers the curbs. What is Pace going to do is he opens the rear wing, crosses the line to P2. It's a 43.3, very solid lap from Pace there, but I tell you what, he's going to be at risk from a couple of drivers behind. Very, very good there, but Arwen will definitely be trying to push to improve on that. Lucalis as well has got a bit of time in him as we see the sun starting to break through. You saw it peeking through the helmet when Kev was on his flying lap, so the track is just going to start getting that much warmer and that much grippier, and the last car to cross the line here will be in a very good position, I think. So you can see both McLarens in the ahead of Arwen at the bottom of your screen. They're probably organising some sort of tow, but we can see Arwen absolutely hurtling this car through at the moment, as I think that is going to be, I'm not sure if that's so look it up there, that is Mika Lando who's starting his lap there. I think that's Tesco who's next to start his lap, but Arwen is going to be the one to watch here. He was into the 42s in Q2. Can he replicate it, and can anybody beat that time? We will see. So that was Kev, I think, is actually going to start his lap again if he's got the fuel to do so. We'll see Arwen go around now. Can Arwen displace Fatboy Sim at the top? He does! It's provisional pole for Arwen. It's a 42.8 from the driver there, as both McLarens are starting their lap times at the moment. I'm going to check in. Tesco is currently on his outlap. Kev is going again. So Kev has got the fuel to go again. So he was the last to start. No, he's not going to be the last to start his lap. Sorry, he is going again is what I meant to say. Pace, however, I'm not sure if he will have a chance to go again. I'm just having a look who's going to be on the lap. And I think it's going to be Lucalis, who is getting a little bit of a tow from Chiv. But we'll check in on Chiv as he'll be the first to cross the line out of this current run. Everybody is now out on their lap. Everybody has had a chance to start. Pace will take the flag. P3 at best for the VCAB driver. Very, very solid lap from him. But he is going to have to pit and wait and see if anybody can displace him. So, let's have a look. So, Chiv, who's ahead of us here? It's Kev. No, that's Mika Lando. Excuse me. Mika Lando will be the first of this group to cross the line. Arwen has also taken the flag. I don't think he's... No, Arwen is on an in-lap. So he is on provisional 42.8. He will have also taken the flag along with Pace. So we'll see if anybody can disrupt him there. Mika Lando. We'll see where he puts here. Yellow flag in Sector 2 there. That is the Red Bull of Arwen going slowly. It is. So Michelando opens up his flat, puts it P4, 43.331 away from Pace. P4 at best. We are going to see Kev cross the line. Can he improve on his time at all? He does to P5. It's a 43.5 for Kev. Very well done on the one. Softs that'll be there. I think Chiv there crosses the line next. He is going to set a time of a 43.2. Just disrupts Pace, but we'll see where Lucalis puts it. Lucalis puts it P8, 43.6. He must have invalidated. That's a big shock there. Fatboy Sim is absolutely flying at the moment. So we'll see what he does there. Rob is going to cross the line as well. So Lucalis will start P8 at best. Big shock there. Rob there, as he navigates the last two corners, can he put a competitive time on the board? Rob opens up the flap there, puts it P3, 43.2. Gio there, invalidated. It's 43.5. Tesco puts it P3. Fatboy Sim crosses the line. It's a 42.6 from the Ferrari driver. It's pole position for the Ferrari driver. 2 tenths on Arwen, 5 tenths on Tesco in P3. It's a mighty performance from Fatboy Sim, and he will start on pole position. Gio there improved to a 43.5, as I said at the end. Rob put up a 43.2, so Lucalis starts P10th at best. He must have had some sort of incident there. So yes, Fatboy Sim on P1, 42.6, quickest time of all 3 sessions. Arwen there, 42.8. His former teammate, these two were an absolute menace in the Alfa Romeo a couple of years ago. That was Tesco up in P3. Tesco with some very, very solid qualifying performances recently. Rob puts it P4, look at half a second off of pole. Chiv with a P5, Pace up in P6 as he was the first to cross the line. Very good lap from him. Mika Lando in P7, the Kev in P8 who went again on his soft tyres. Gio there in P9 for what I think is his best qualifying performance, and then Lucalis there in P10 in the McLaren. Brilliant end to that. Oh my goodness. So my betting, I'm not a betting man, but I did call Fatboy Sim for pole, didn't I? Brilliant stuff. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. So that is your starting order. This ought to be a good race. It's a fairly short race in terms of lap times here. It's one of the fewest laps on the calendar. I think it's 22 laps or something like that, or 24 laps. It's not that many. With 50%, and that is a lot of rain. It just wouldn't be Spa without rain, would it? It just wouldn't be Spa without the heavens opening. So we'll see if this lasts for the whole session or not. If it'll be wet to dry or it'll be wet all the way through. It looks like, I think it's intermediate conditions. You bottle it in quality here for fun. You know what? 2 races in a row, Luke. Very unfortunate, but you know, they say that rain is the great equalizer. They do. So you could very well put yourself right up in the mix. DRS, obviously, in this game, DRS and ERS are so powerful. It's really difficult to break away from the pact. So when there isn't any DRS in the rain, you can see bigger gaps form. You know, drivers sort of struggle to keep up with other drivers and get towed along a bit. So we'll have to see how that navigates its way out. I'm just waiting now for a chance. Yes, there's a formation lap. Yes, everybody's out on the intermediates as it stands. Fatboy Sim will take us off. But as you can see, we'll go down the grid there. as they go for the formation lap. Fatboy Sim on pole position. I think it's his second pole of the season. Arwen, his brother, his former teammate in P2 there. Expect these two to have some enjoyable battles. Of course, in Zandvoort, they were chasing each other. Arwen crashed out on the last corner. Tesco on for a career best quality of P3. The Mercedes driver looking very promising as well. Rob up there in P4. Chiv in P5. Pace there in P6 as we see the drivers just snake up the hill. Mika Lando in P7, the Aston Martin. Kev there in P8. I think there was something going on there between those two drivers. I missed that. Haas there in P9. We'll go on the TV pod there. Lucalis down there in P10. Chubby Slug. Chubby Slug has got him for company in P11. Dale down there in P12 as well. Dale's had a very solid start to the season as well. Bosch there in P13. In the kick, Baz in P14 with his teammate Devereaux in P15. These two are always together, having a bit of a battle. Skarma down there in P16. I expect him to make up a lot of positions as well. Big Harv on his debut here, deputising in the kick in lieu of Craig Brook. He is down in P17 in his first qualifying. Vibora there in P18 in the Haas. Had some sort of issue at the start there. Mr. Seedy down in P19, the Alpine driver. And then Musty, who's currently on his debut in P20. So, we'll see as everybody navigates their way around. Longest track on the calendar in terms of distance. You can see Arwen is just right up on the back of Fatboy Sim, then hustling him along. So difficult to keep warped in the tyres, especially on the formation lap, I find in this game anyway, especially with the lack of brake dragging. Having a look there, Fatboy Sim, those tyres are down in the 56 degrees, ice cold on the intermediates. I think you want your inters to be roughly around 60 to 70. Any more than that, they start to wear really quickly. So we see him just navigate the last few corners. It looks very cold out there. It almost looks like snow in some parts, doesn't it? That would be some brilliant viewing, wouldn't it? But yes, so possible race strategy. It says intermediates. We're not sure if it's going to be wet to the end. I will find out at the same time as you, the drivers, will know, as everybody just lines up in their position. I don't know, Fatboy Sim, did he get disqualified there? He did. Fatboy Sim missed his pit box, so he's going to be at a disadvantage on the launch there. Big surprise there from Fatboy Sim. As we see the last few drivers, that is Musty in the background taking the P20 spot. As we wait for the lights, the green flag's waving, 20 cars on the grid, 15 point scoring positions. It's 20-odd laps of Spa in the rain. We wait for the lights. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are go in Spa. Fatboy Sim got a bit of a tentative start there. Arwen looked to get a good launch off the line. Mika Lando's got Rob's got an excellent launch off the line. Excuse me. There's a V car being pushed out onto the grass there as drivers all over the place. Oh, it's big contact. There's a Mercedes off. There's a McLaren off as well. That's Lucalis, who's had a collision. I think Lucalis is right down at the bottom of the grid there. And that is Kev all the way down in P20. What happened there? So Lucalis got into a bit of a battle. He's missing some of his wing. So a driver in contention there for the win has had an issue. So we have a look there. That's Tesco, I think, was going alongside Arwen there. Is he going to make the pass into the lane? Comshigate getting very close together, but Arwen is going to defend this all the way. Rob might have a look up the outside of the Mercedes driver. Keeps it all pointing in the same direction. And it is as you were... Oh, there was a driver going very close. I thought Rob was going to set up the inside of the Mercedes driver. So there was some sort of instance. You caught it at the bottom of your screen there. As that is a... what is that? A kick driver there, who looked to go around the outside. I think he's past Gio. Gio goes around the outside of him in no name. The camera's not doing me any favors there. These two are having a brilliant battle. Big Harv there is up to P11, up from P17. Brilliant gains for him. Mika Lando's fallen a few positions back. He's had an issue of some sort. Mr. Seely's fallen back to the grid, and Kev there, they've had some sort of incident. So I think some cars will be in the pits. There's a bit of a gap there from P11 down to P12. Lucalis is just battling down to the bottom of the grid there. I'm just having a look. Lucalis going around the outside of Musty and makes the pass on the Alpine driver on his debut. So we'll see if Lucalis stays out or not. So let's keep a bit of a recap here. I know drivers may be coming into the pits, but Fatboy Sim leads half a second away from Arwen, who's pulled a second on Tesco there in P3. Rob is in P4, as you see the cars fly around. Chiv in P5, as I try and get the position changes up. There you go. Pace to P6, those top 6 as you were. Geo up to P2, as he's having a battle there. He's actually trying to fight Pace, but Pace defends the position. Bosch up 5 positions to P8. Dale up to P9. Chubby's up to P10. Big Harv there up to P11. Brilliant start from him. Baz up there is under pressure from Michelando, but I think Michelando will not make the move. Michelando's fallen 6 positions there. Came into some sort of issue. In fact, I think he's going side by side with Baz there. They are going to go side by side all the way up to Eau Rouge. I think Baz has just eked ahead of him there. Skarma is up to P14 in the point scoring positions. Lucullus has navigated his way through the traffic. He's staying out on the broken wing. He's up to P15 after falling all the way back down to the bottom there. As you can see, that Skarma going very close with Michelando up in the top there. Chubby Slug and Dale are trading positions. Chiv and Rob are trading positions. Lot going on here on the straight. So if I go all the way up here, yeah, Rob has been passed by Chiv. So Chiv in the McLaren's made his way up to P4. Tesco has put himself right onto the back of Arwen, and these three are going to start pulling away from each other. As I go up and down the grid there, Vibora is down there in P16, Musty in P17, Kevin P18 also was involved in that collision. Devereaux down in P19, and Mr. Seedy down in P20 as well. Fatboy Sim looks like he's sort of navigating his way in P1 there pretty safely. Pace there is pretty close to the back of Rob as well. Geo's pretty close to them. It's actually a trainer cars there from P4 down to P12. So we'll see moves happening all over the place here. You can see Bosch is looking very aggressive on the back of Pace. These two have had battles before. I see the cars just dancing on the exit of Stavolo 2 there, aren't they? Chubby Slug is very close to the back of Bosch. He might make Geo, excuse me, he might make a move in a minute. I'll tell you what, Arwen's actually getting very close to the back of Fatboy Sim there. Not close enough to make a move, I don't think. That is Michelando, I think, has just made the pass on Baz down this back straight there. They have indeed. So having a look, that is Vibora's gone a bit wide there. I thought that was Kev looked like he was going to make a move. No, he's backed out of it. Tesco has passed Arwen right at the top of your screen there. Tesco has made the pass on Arwen down the pit straight there. You don't see a lot of overtakes there, has to be said, but Arwen is going to be right on the back of the Mercedes driver here. Is he going to have a go at him again down the straight, or is Tesco going to have a go on Fatboy Sim down there? Skarma looks like he's made the pass on Baz down on towards the bottom of the grid there. Arwen washes a little bit wide there, didn't he? So is Tesco going to be close enough to make a move? I don't think he is. So Arwen went a bit wide on the exit of Eau Rouge there. Everybody keeping it clean at the moment. I need the interval up. There we go. Lucullus is going side by side with Baz there. He's passed Baz as well. Is Lucullus going to make the move on Skarma as well? I don't think he is. Baz looks to send it up the inside, but just is out of it. That would have been an audacious move from the Williams driver there, but keeps it on the track, decides not to risk the contact. Geo is pressuring the back of Chubby Slug. I think they've made a swap there at some point. Big Harv has just fallen back a little bit down in P10, but he has passed Dale at some point. I'm really struggling to keep up with all of the moves happening here. You see Big Harv in the background just had a bit of a snap. Fatboy Sim has pulled a second on Tesco there. Oh, there's a car going wide there. That was Pace, I think, in the V car, but just went a bit wide. Under pressure. These look like they're going to be in a very tight battle as we navigate through the last couple of corners. Arwen could very well make a move on Tesco in the back straight here as well. We'll have a look. I'm just going to go on board with Geo as we see how he navigates this traffic there. Bosch has a bit of a snap. Chuggy Slug is looking that much closer. He gets onto the curb. He gets on throttle that little bit earlier. Is he going to make a move on Bosch here? As I look, Arwen is very close to the back of Tesco. I might jump on that in just a minute, but I think they're going to be fine. It's actually quite difficult to make a move here, but Chubby Slug gets a bit of a... the game just lagging very slightly there. Oh, and Vibora, right down at the bottom of your picture there, has had a moment. He has had a spin. He's down in P20. Tesco is just that ever bit closer to Fatboy Sim. He's quite a lot quicker than the Ferrari driver in the middle sector by the looks of it. Chubby Slug there is just sort of sitting in the back there. There is a yellow flag there. I think it's drivers navigating through the bus stop chicane as we see how they go. So reminder, points scored up to 15th here. Skarma looks like he might be able to make a move on Michelando, that is. as I think Lucullus is going to start seeing the effects of his broken wing. Bosch is the first of the drivers to pick up a penalty. Look at that cars go wide now. It's a big stop from both drivers. Michelando and Skarma have big moments. I'll tell you what, Lucullus might actually have a chance to pass Skarma here. He's going to use some of his battery. Michelando looked to go defensive. Skarma is now going defensive, and it was as you were going through that. That was brilliant. You saw both cars have a big snap of oversteer. Lucullus was the one who didn't, and nearly had a run on them there, and he is closed right up to this group here. I'm going to go back on board. I think Chubby Slug is very close to maybe making a move. You're starting to see gaps just start to elongate a little bit here. So the front three are still sort of just pulling themselves away from Chiv there, and Chiv's managed to pull himself away from Rob a bit. Pace is just sitting on the back of the Aston Martin driver, as it were, leading this train on. Chubby Slug, I tell you what, is very close to making a move. He might send it up again down the back straight here. He's probably the closest of the drivers on grid at the moment to make a move. As Bosch goes a bit wide there, Chubby Slug goes around the outside and makes the move. Thank you very much, he says, as Bosch has a bit of a snap there as the intermediate tyres starting to complain a little bit. Looking back there, I'm not sure if Skarma's going to be close enough to make a move. If I have a look here, yeah, so just elongating the gaps a little bit more. As I spoke about, Dale is pretty close to Big Half here. Is he going to make a move on the debutant driver who's up to P10? Brilliant start from him. We'll see if he can maintain it. Dale is closing on the kick driver, but doesn't make the move. Tesco sets the fastest lap as the dry line does start to make its way in. Now, I'm just having a look. Gio is pretty close to the back of Bosch. Bosch, I think, might have taken the best out of his tyres. Bosch doesn't go defensive, but is going to be at risk to the Haas driver going up the straight there. Tesco is actually that much closer to Fatboy Sim as they do navigate Aruja. We're going to see a change for the lead here. Tesco tucks into the back of the Ferrari driver. Will the Ferrari driver be able to defend this? He moves over to the left-hand side. Tesco goes right into the toe, moves over. Tesco now goes side by side into the Le Corbusier, and the Mercedes driver takes the lead. We've had a change for the lead. Tesco navigating from P3 to P1. Now, can he shake the Ferrari driver? We'll have to see. Gio does make the move past on Bosch as they get all over the road with each other in the Le Corbusier. Gio went onto the gravel there. You saw the gravel being kicked up there as Kev makes a move on Baz on the background there. Yeah, he's just made the move into the Le Corbusier. Vibora has picked up a time penalty for good measure. Bosch very close to the back there. There's a yellow flag in sector one as Vibora is out, and it's a virtual safety car. Vibora is out. I don't know if he's had a moment of some sort. I can't spectate him. He very well might have lost it at Eau Rouge. Unfortunate for the Haas driver. So easy to lose it in the rain here, and everything is neutralized as the VSC sort of navigates its way around. I tell you what, I wonder, I can just see something in the bottom right of my screen there. It's a full safety car. It's a red flag! It's a red flag here! We've gone from VSC to safety car to red flag. First red flag of the season. So, the drivers will have a chance to put on fresh tyres here. If it's still raining, they'll all put on fresh intermediates, I'm sure. And we have a chance to go again with another standing start. Very exciting stuff here. So, Tesco made the pass on Fatboy Sim. If my math is right, I think he will still start from first on the restart, because it takes the grid order of the last lap that all drivers completed. I think we'll have to see. I wasn't sure if they had managed to finish a lap before Vibora lost it. We'll have to see what the grid order is. Obviously you'll find out at the same time as I do. But some very exciting stuff there. It's so difficult to navigate all the drivers that go. Tesco does start us off. He's going to start us off with five red lights straight away. And Tesco gets a very tentative start. He's bogged down completely off the line. It's a disastrous start for Tesco. He's lost almost 5 positions in one there. He tries to defend the inside. They're 3 wide as and Tesco's round! Tesco is round from P1 to P19 after they went 3 wide on the restart there. Absolute heartbreak for Tesco. Fatboy Sim re-inherits the lead. Pulled a massive gap. Look at this. Chiv is very close. He's alongside Arwen here. We're going to see moves all the way up and down the grid. Rob and Gio are currently fighting position. Big Harv is caught up again to P7. What a start from him. Skarma's up to P8. Gio and Rob are fighting there. Dale looks like he's been shoveled down a few. Dale has been absolutely bullied out. Michelando and Dale coming together there. As Chubby Slug makes the pass on Chiv right up at the stop there, down into Bruxelles, out of the Lecombe chicane. There's all sorts of moves going on here. So Chubby Slug is up 8 positions onto the podium. This has been a ridiculous restart. Geo right on the back of Rob. Big Harv up there in P7. Scarborough up to P8. P9, it's down there for Pace. He's lost a few positions. Bosch is up to P10. Dale Musty is up 8 positions to P12 from last of the grid. Very well done from him. Sorry, drivers have put on the soft tyres. Excuse me, they've put on the medium and hard tyres. I completely missed that. So the red flag gave them all a chance to get off of the intermediate. So we're going to see the hard tyre runners will take it to the end. Big Harv there has been passed. Big Harv has gone all the way down to the back of the grid, has he? Yeah, there's been it's heartbreak for Big Harv. So he was up in, what was that, P7, I think it was. There was an incident of some sort. He's been shuffled all the way back. There's time penalties galore going up here. Oh, and that's Skarma with a big snap. He's lost a position to Pace, has he? His Fatboy Sim is 1.5 seconds ahead. Both VCAP drivers are going side by side. There's cars all over the place in the background there. That was Baz and Tesco going well off the track there. Skarma defending inside as Pace. Oh, that's a Red Bull. That's Arwin. Arwin's around. Chubby Slug is around. Drivers are all over the road. Arwin and Chubby Slug have had an incident of some sort there. Arwin's down to P10, Chubby Slug down to P17. Arwin does take the position over Michelando. Just to say, Lucalis and Kev will have had a chance to fix their wings as well. Pace is going alongside. He's passing his teammate there. Musty defends from Dale as well. Lucalis, I think, has just made the pass on Michelando. Michelando's actually at risk of Bosch there. These two going side by side through the Lecombe chicane. Bosch makes his way through. Lucalis has recovered up to P10, which is actually where he started at the moment. Right, so absolute chaos going on up and down the grid. I can barely keep up. Fatboy Sim leads by 3.5 seconds to Rob on the hard tyres. Will take him to the end in P2. Chiv in P3. Geo up to P4. Very, very good from him there. Can I see the position change? Yeah, look at that. Geo up to P4. Pace up to P5. Skarma up to P10. Dale has made the pass on Musty there, who's up from P20 to P8 there. Brilliant from him and Skarma. Dale is up in Where am I? Yeah, so Dale is up in P7, under risk from Musty in P8. Excuse me there. Skarma is very close to the back of his teammate as well. Arwin, who had an incident with Chubby Slug, is down there in P9. Lucal is chasing him at P10. Bosch at P11. Michelando P12, very close to the back of the kick driver. Closing in on the kick driver. We might stay on board with this. Devereaux there in P13, Chubby Slug in P14. Michelando could very well make a move here. No, he dips out of it. Mr. Seedy there in P15, the last point scoring places, but it's under pressure from Kev, who thought about it. Baz there in P17, Tesco in P18, who Big Harv goes down the inside of the Mercedes driver. Brilliant move there, but Tesco defends it. Chiv makes the pass. Chiv and Geo are fighting, excuse me, for position up the top there. So Chiv defends from the Haas driver, but the Haas driver, who was in Q3 for the first time, could very well want to make a move for a podium position. But I'll tell you what, Chiv is that much closer to Rob there. DRS has been enabled. As I look, Musty has made the move on Dale there. Chubby picks up a time penalty for good measure. Musty is up there in P7. I'm sure those two will start trading. Lucalis is actually very close to Arwin there, but decides not to fight it. Michelando is fighting with Devereaux there. Devereaux has to dip out of it. So lots of battles going on here, and he's only 9 laps in. Big Harv does make the pass on Tesco in the background. There's a yellow flag floating around. I'm not sure what for. So yes, right. So as we recount where we are, so Musty there is, look at the amount of cars he's got for trouble there. That's Dale. He's not going to look at the inside of Puon, is he? He doesn't. Goodness, I thought Dale was going to send it there. Arwin washes a little bit wide. So this is going to be I mean, if we go on board with Lucalis, like you can see the absolute cavalcade of cars he's got there. Geo has fallen off the pace a bit. Actually, Pace and Skarma have passed Geo, excuse me. So that's happened at some point. Geo went from fighting from a podium down to P6. Musty is actually on the back of the Haas driver there. Dale and Arwin very close to each other. Luke is right up at the back of them as well. I'm going to watch Chiv, who could very well make a move on Rob as well, but these V-Carbs have been towing each other along brilliantly. Musty has managed to fight his way up to P7, but he's under massive pressure here from the Red Bull driver. So we're going to see as Arwin goes around the outside of Dale there. So Dale is passed by his teammate Arwin. Luke goes up the inside of Dale, a little bit of contact, but Luke isn't able to make the pass stick. I'm just going to have a look. I think Chiv could very well make a move on Rob up the top here. I just want to keep an eye on those on the background as well. There's going to be a crazy amount of moves happening for that little pack of the Red Bull drivers there, and for Lucullus. We'll see if Chiv is close enough to make a move. I'm just looking at the grid there. Pace might swap with Skarma as well, but Chiv is going to go alongside the Aston Martin. He is going to pass the Aston Martin. Pace, as you can see, is making the move as well. And look at the cars as they go all by side by side. Musty is defending, but he can't defend too much. Cuts off Dale, but Arwen passes him. Dale, is he going to go around the outside of Lecomi? He isn't, but Lucullus is going to go around the outside of Dale. Is he? Because Dale went a bit wide. Oh, we'll have to see. Lucullus, I think, they're still side by side. Dale, is he going to defend on the inside of Bruxelles? He is. Lucullus, is he going to have the grip to go around the outside? They're all keeping it very clean. Dale will go around the outside of No Name. Lucullus is still there. Lucullus is still there. They're still side by side. Is Dale going to try and make a move? I think Lucullus has done enough. He has. Lucullus takes a lot of the inside there. Dale, is he going to have a look at the outside of the Piff Paff chicane? I'm keeping on board here because I think Dale might make a move on the inside. He doesn't. Lucullus keeps the place, and it's P9 for Lucullus as he tries to recover. Chiv did make the pass, as we said. Skarma very close to the back of Pace as well. Those two will probably trade. Rob as well there. So if I go back onto the tyres here, we can see those on the hard tyres will take them to the end. Rob and Pace in a very good position here, has to be said. The mediums might make it to the end. I have to say, I'm not actually sure if the mediums will take it to the end. Devereaux gets a time penalty as Chiv goes a bit wide there. Rob could very well make a move here. I'm having a look. Dale is also that much closer to Lucullus. Lucullus could very well be under pressure there, but he is actually that much closer to Musty as well. Lucullus gets on the loud pedal, gets on the battery. He's going to go side by side. I think he isn't. No, Kev makes a pass for Chubby Slug in the background there. Mr. Seedy has also made a pass on Bav and Hud. Sorry, Chubby's in the pits. So Chubby is in the pits. I don't know if he's got damage or if he's just going to change his tyres, try something new. We'll see. But this is going to be a great battle up here. Rob, I think, is going to make a pass on Chiv. But I tell you what, the V-Cubs are actually really close to the back of them. So Rob just making the pass on Chiv in the background. You can see Lucullus there as there's an incident in the bottom of your screen there in Sector 1. We'll see what that is. Lucullus goes around the outside of Musty. Very good pass from Lucullus there. Dale got a brilliant view of it. So Lucullus up to P8. Good move from him there. Musty is thinking about sending it on the inside, doesn't do so. Pace on the hard tyres there has crawled right up to this fight here. So Rob and Chiv have been fighting each other there or thereabouts. There's a yellow flag there. There's Big Harv, who I think's had an incident, as Pace washes a little bit wide on those hards, but still sticks in it. Skarma's behind him for company there. So with Chiv and Rob fighting, Pace on the hard tyres is right up there with him. So if the mediums fall off, Pace could be in a very good position for another podium here. I'm just having a look up and down. Lucullus is doing very well. He's catching up to Arwen there. I don't know if Arwen's carrying any damage, but Arwen's actually close up very close to Gio there, who's fallen off of that train. Arwen could very well make a move on Gio going down the back straight here. Dale is closing out on Musty, who's fallen out of DRS zone of Lucullus there. Michelando makes the pass on Bosch in the background there. I think Bosch, did he have a bit of a moment where he went wide? Do you think he might have? Because Devereaux is closing quite a lot on the Bosch, the kick driver. Dale does make the pass on Musty on the back straight. The kick driver, I think, is all out of battery. Devereaux, the Williams, is he going to have a go here? Bosch defends as Musty and Dale are trading positions right at the top of your picture there. You can see it. Devereaux is still... that's Michelando, who was very slightly ghosted there. I don't know if he had an incident. Musty still defends the position. Going up to the top here, Lucullus is very close to this battle here. Dale and Musty are still trading positions. Arwen's going to get a dose of DRS from Gio here, but Lucullus is that much closer to the Red Bull driver. Chiv, right at the top of your screen, is going to make a pass around the outside of Rob and does make the move stick. Pace sticks behind them. I've gone the wrong way in the... Oh, where am I? Gio there defends from Arwen. Arwen goes around the outside. The Haas driver's been tagged very so slightly. Lucullus has to get on the anchors to not run into the back of the Haas driver as Tesco retires in the pits. Tesco, unfortunately, started this race from started the restart on the red flag from first on the grid, and then an incident there knocked him all the way to the back, and he's retired. Unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. He has had some rotten luck this season so far, hasn't he? As we watch that grid, Fatboy Sim is just extending his lead. I tell you what, that was Gio getting all over the curb there. He's going to put himself at risk to the McLaren driver, who goes around the outside and takes the corner. Very good overtake from Luke there. He's had a brilliant, brilliant recovery drive so far. Arwen there is going to try and get himself back onto that train. Dale is having an absolutely monumental battle with Musty here, and he's got Michelando and Devereaux for company for good measure. They are both getting onto the back of Bosch there. Dale, look how close he is to the back. He's going to get a brilliant tow from the Alpine driver. He's going to go around the outside. He's squeezed in Blanchimont. The Alpine driver, he's going to be at risk here as the Aston Martin driver goes down the... he's going to have a make a move. Dale looks to defend. There's a lot going on here. As you see, Bosch is really sort of closed up a little bit there. He may be carrying some damage. Musty is going to get a bit of DRS to help defend. Devereaux as well just can't make the move on Michelando. Michelando very nearly sent it on Dale, and we're going to see these guys go right up the top. Michelando goes very deep into C1 there, doesn't want to wipe them out. I'm just watching there. We're going to see some drivers up the top there. I don't know if Pace is going to make a move. And I'll tell you what, Rob could very well make a move on Chiv there. Chiv looks to recover his battery. Skarma, it's all as you were. Lucalis there, just recharging his battery behind Arwen. I don't know if he's going to be close enough to make a move. Gio is behind them. Lucalis had a look there, didn't he? And look at the drivers there. You see Bosch going ultra defensive from Musty there. Keeps it all in one line as you were. Baz has had a disconnect. Unfortunate for him. We'll have to see if we can get him back in the session in a minute. Musty picks up a 3-second time penalty for good measure. If I can, very quickly, as you can see going on your screen, I just want to chuck Baz another invite to get it back in. As we can see that Michelando really running into the back of Dale there. These cars have been within just a few tenths of each other. Gio is very close to the back of Lucalis there. I wonder if Gio will make a move. We'll have a look as he gets around. Tesco has left us after his retirement. Very unfortunate. Dale very close to the back of Musty. We'll see if Gio dips himself into the gravel for good measure. We'll see Dale is still... Michelando, there's not really anywhere to pass in the middle sector, is there? Musty goes a bit wide to get a better exit down through the back straight. And look how close they are. Dale is going to go side by side with the Alpine driver once again. Alpine driver is defending for his life here. As we see them go through Blanchimont, is Dale going to be at risk from Michelando? Michelando, I tell you what, is actually side by side as we see the helmet cam as he goes down the inside as he made the move past. He leaves room on the other side. You see just the tyre there of Dale pop up, and Michelando's going to get better traction on the hard tyre. Makes the pass on Dale, and Michelando will now live to fight another day. Dale does actually sticking around the outside. He's not giving this one up. He's going to take the corner. He's going to try and cut back here and get a better run. Yellow flag in Sector 3 there. That's Big Harv, who's had a spin of some sort. Lucalis there is very close to the back of Arwen as Rob and Shiv trade positions once again. Lucalis is going around the outside of Arwen up to P6. Brilliant recovery from Luke so far. Very well done from him. Gio just not close enough to make the move. Arwen will recover his battery and see what he can do. Musty has actually fallen back from Bosch a little bit there as Bosch has managed to either recover his issue or there's been the fighting. Michelando maintains his position over Dale. Devereaux right at the back of that train. Kev is slowly gaining on them as well, so Kev could look to try and reap the rewards of that. Looking up down with penalty, a lot of 3-second penalties, a lot of 6-second penalties could very well be a deciding factor at the end of this race. As we see Michelando go around the outside down into Poa. This would be a brilliant move from the Aston Martin. It is a brilliant move from the Aston Martin on the Alpine. Brilliant overtake there. Musty is actually under threat from Dale. As Gio there has actually got a bit wide, I think. He's actually lost a position to Bosch there. So Gio, who we've seen him dip a toe into the gravel a couple of times. Kev is actually right on the back of this train as well, so he might try and get some positions. Gio has fallen down to P9 there, a few seconds off of Bosch. So must have missed what happened there. As you see these second down to fifth all sticking very close with each other. Devereaux looks like he's making the move on Dale. He's passed him. So Devereaux, excuse me, down through Blanchimont makes the pass. You can see these drivers. That's Michelando going side by side with Gio there. Michelando, will he get the better turn in here? Will he get the better acceleration? We'll go on this camera here and see Michelando not going to be close enough to make a move. I don't think. Musty goes down the inside of Lasorsa. Michelando, bit of contact there. They're still side by side. Michelando maintains the position, but Musty very well might make a move going up the straight there. We'll go on the TV pod and see what it does. Michelando might have just lost the DRS to Gio there because of that incident. Dale and Kev are going to be really close. Devereaux's actually fallen down from ahead of Dale to behind Kev, so I'm not sure what happened there. Pace is actually really close to the back of Chiv there, not close enough to make the move. As I look, Musty, is he going to make the move on Michelando? He decides against it. Kev is just going to stick in this battle there. Dale didn't make the move on him. Devereaux's still there. And Baz down in the last point scoring position, just a few seconds off as well. Luke is 6 seconds behind Skarmy. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to try and get up there. Now, we're going to see how the medium tyres and the hard tyres start to cooperate with each other. Will the hards get faster with just a few sort of laps left? You see Skarma's having a few excursions over the road there. Pace is absolutely hounding the back of this driver here. None of these drivers in this sort of top second to fifth battle here have any penalties. As it stands, Lucas has actually just picked up a penalty for good measure. We'll see how he gets on with Arwen. As you see Pace, look at Pace in just hurling in the toe here of these two. I'm curious to see if Chiv is going to make a move on Rob to try and defend himself. Mika Lando very close to the back of Gio. Could very well make a move on the back straight there. We will see on the left-hand side, but I'm going to stick on board with Pace here. With this, love the broadcast camera there as it sticks on board. I'm going to turn off my camera as we see these cars snake up Eau Rouge. See if we get a change for the podium positions. As it stands, Rob in P2, Chiv in P3, Pace in P4, Skarma in P5. I tell you what, Pace has been very close to Chiv throughout this entire lap. Chiv is going to get a lovely dose of DRS from Rob there, a lovely dose of battery. Chiv, I think, used quite a lot of battery on the defensive there. Chiv is actually potentially going to make a move here as we see them go down the Camel Straight. Chiv is that much closer to Rob. Chiv could very well make a move. He decides to stay out of it. So it's as you were here. Fatboy Sim has now extended his gap to 7 seconds. We'll go on board with the Ferrari driver here. As a yellow flag in sector 1 there, that is a Mercedes driver. Kev's had an off. Oh, unfortunate for the Mercedes drivers. Both drivers were very good at qualifying, and they just had a torrid bit of luck in the race. He's fallen out to P15 now. But to recover to where I was, Fatboy Sim, 7 seconds ahead of P2, absolutely cruising through this race at the moment. Rob there in P2, defending from Chiv in P3 and Pace in P4. I expect those positions to be basically randomized by the last lap. Who knows what order they'll finish in. Skarma there is just a few seconds off of Pace there in P5. Very good recovery from him. Lucalis is up to P6, recovered after a lap 1 incident as well. Arwen there in P7. Bosch in P8, and Arwen, another driver who had an incident, I should say. Bosch has got clear air in P8. Gio there in P9, defending fiercely from Mika Lando in P10. These two are going to be fighting quite a lot as well. Mika Lando could very well make a move on the Haas driver there. Musty down there in P11, good drive from him. Dale in P12, Devereaux in P13. These two will probably trade positions as well as Arwen picks up a penalty. Baz there in P14, 5 seconds off, and then Kev in P15 after his incident just last lap in the last point scoring position. Mr. CD is there P16, under pressure from Big Harv. These two very close to each other. Big Harv actually might make a move there as they go down the back straight, and then Chubby Slug there, who is in P18. I think he might have had to pit for a new wing. Down the 18, Tesco and Vibora are our two drivers who are out at the moment. We'll see if Pace is that much closer to Chiv. Chiv does get the DRS. He is going to get the battery, but Pace is getting a double dose of tow. Is Pace going to make a move for the podium scoring positions? Here he goes down the inside of Chiv there. Chiv defends as well as he can. And Chiv will maintain the position for now, but Pace knows he's on those better hard tyres. I think Chiv is actually on the scrubbed mediums as well. Michelino does make the pass on Gio. Gio's going to try and pass him back into the com, is he? He's not indeed. Gio sticks behind him. Devereaux makes the move on Musty there, but he goes slightly off the track. He rejoins. Musty's probably going to get the position back. Dale is almost pushing that Alpine along. Says, get out of the way, let me pass, he says. As Musty and Devereaux go side by side through Bruxelles. Look at that, Devereaux going around the outside, maintains the position very well from there. As it stays as it is. Dale there. I expect these three have probably changed their positions quite a lot. This is going to be the battle of the race so far. Oh, the red flag. I know, Tesco. I know. So unfortunate, man. It was heartbreaking. You've had some torrid luck this season so far. Musty there dips a toe in the gravel. Dale is going to be right on the back. These three have had a brilliant battle. Devereaux's actually starting to pull away from Musty a little bit. He'll try and get into the toe of Gio, who managed to clear off the start. Gio's had a big moment. Look at the top there. Devereaux, who's alongside Gio. Gio, I think, got onto the grass coming out of Stavolo too. Devereaux's going to make a move for P10. Brilliant run from him there. Dale, is he going to make a move on Musty? We'll see. He thinks about the move. He doesn't make the move happen. Looking up the top here, Pace is that much closer to Chiv. As is he gonna have another go at again? He gets an even better run out of Eau Rouge. Pace is on the loud pedal. He's on the DRS. He's on the ERS. And Pace makes a move for the podium positions here. Brilliant pass on Chiv there. Doesn't go around the outside of Rob. Rob was massively recharging his battery now. And you've got two hard runners in P2 and P3. Change for the podium positions. Luke is closing on Skarma quite a lot. Having a look way down at the bottom of the grid there. Mr. CD and Chubby Slug are having a titanic battle there. Devereaux is past Geo. Again, I don't know if they had some sort of moment there. I think there was 3 wide there. Devereaux maintains the position ahead of Musty, actually, who passes Geo. Dale, still on the back of this train, has been unable to find a gap. I expect, again, a lot of fighting in there. It's just a few more laps left. I tell you what, Chiv is actually really close to Pace there. Pace is even closer to Rob. Mr. Seedy and Chubby Slug's fighting into the Forest down there for some of the final positions as well. Having a lot of big intervals as we scatter down through the mid-table. But again, the big fight here is who is going to be on the second step of the podium. Nobody seems to be contending with Fatboy Sim at all in the dryer here. He has buggered off, if you could say. Chiv very close to the back of Pace in the background there, as you can see. Pace very close to Rob. We could very well see a reshuffling as we go down the straight here. Oh, excuse me, I'm talking so much, it's hurting my throat a bit. So, I'm going to go on the broadcast camera here. We're going to see if there's any changes for the second step of the podium. Rob knows he's got to try and navigate his battery to defend against this, but it's so difficult because the straight isn't just after Eau Rouge. It basically starts here. You're completely flat. Not even dirty air upsets the car as they go through here. Pace will tag right onto the back of Rob. Chiv is right on the back of Pace as well. We'll see if Pace decides to go for a move. Rob has used a lot of his battery there. I think Pace isn't going to be close enough to make a move. Chiv, however, is also not going to make a move, and it's as you were. All drivers just trying to navigate their battery, isn't it? Just trying to sort of make sure that you've got everything you need for the final lap. That'll be the big killer, won't it? Michelando is in plenty of free air there as Musty looks to defend from Geo. Geo could make a move on the Alpine driver there. The Alpine driver was all the way up in P7 at one point. He's been shuffled back to P2. Sorry, P12, excuse me. Unfortunate for the Alpine driver. He's driven a very good race so far. And picks up another 3-second time penalty for good measure. That's 9 seconds for the Alpine driver. He looks like he's on point to score some point-scoring positions. Big Harv there in the kick on the mediums has recovered up to the final point-scoring positions. Will be great for him to regain some points after each of a good race, but he's got Kev to contend with. Looking up at the moment, Dale does make a move on Musty there. That was... Musty's actually got a bit... lost a few seconds there. I don't know if there was an incident of some sort. Baz is actually coming on to the back of this train now. Musty is now fallen out of DRS range. Dale is just behind Geo. Geo was just teetering on the edge of DRS with Devereaux, but you can see him snap of the wheels there as the medium tyres are going to start to cry. I tell you what, Chiv is going to have a damn side. Oh, it's a big snap, Devereaux! Devereaux's had a big off. I think he's kept it all in one piece, but all that hard work was undone. He's falling down to P12. There's going to be a risk as Musty passes him as well. Oh, he's in the wall! Devereaux in the wall there. Baz is going to make a pass to the teammate as well. I don't know what happened there between Musty and Devereaux. Heartbreak for the Williams driver. Musty, as I think Musty might be giving that position back. He does. So Musty decides, he apologizes, gives position back, but Devereaux has to pit for a wing. So there was a clash of some sort there. Very unfortunate for Devereaux. He'd done so well to make his way up to P10, and then there was an incident there. He's had to pit for a wing, and he's going to fall out of the point-scoring positions. Musty tried to give him the position back. Kev is out. Kev, is he retired in the pits? I'm not sure. I think he might have. So Kev is out. He's retired. Unfortunate for both Mercedes drivers there as Gio looks to defend against Dale, but Dale is going to make the pass happen before the late chicane. Dale is up into P10. Having a look here, Pace is right on the back of Rob. So Devereaux is going to come out in P16. Mr. Seedy actually came into the pits there. Mr. Seedy's put on the soft tyres down there in P17. Chubby Slug now has inherited the last point-scoring position. So you can see how close these drivers are here. Rob's had a big moment! Rob has had a massive moment! I think he's kept his wing clean. He has. But a big moment for Rob there coming out of Stavolo 2. Pace inherits P2, but has to defend from Chiv now with just a few laps remaining. Big drama here. Rob will see if he can tag onto the back of them. I don't know what happened. I just caught the car going sideways into the wall. Pace is going to have a big problem to defend against Chiv with the DRS here. We'll see what he can do. all the other drivers have sort of navigated themselves a bit of a gap with the exception of Gio and Dale down there. We'll see how they get on as they approach the straight, but I'm going to go on board with Chiv now. Can he make a move on pace going up to the top of the hill? We'll see as they go through Eau Rouge, as they go through Radion, as they enter the Camel Straight. Chiv is just getting a little bit closer, but is he close enough to make a move? He's just flashing the battery on the recharge. Pace will also be trying to save some of his battery for the end. Chiv is gaining on the VCAP driver, but not close enough. Gained about half a second there. As we're on the penultimate lap now, one more lap to go. I'm going to go down and see if Gio is going to make the move there on Dale as they go up there. Lucalis is getting that much closer to Skarma as well. He's almost in DRS striking range of Skarma. It'll be a heartbreak for him because he did so well to recover. Dale goes to the right-hand side to defend, but Gio is not using his battery. The drivers know with how powerful the battery is here, it's the last lap that matters the most. So Dale and Gio, the big battle there. Pace and Chiv, the big battle there, unless Pace can shake the DRS in the middle sector, which he looks like he might do with those hard tires. Lucalis, though, is just getting that much closer on Skarma. Is Skarma going to be able to defend P5 and what will have been a very good drive from him? Both these drivers fighting P5 are in brilliant recovery drives, it has to be said. As Arwen is just fallen off of the back of Luke there. Luke is in the DRS range of Skarma, so this will be the battle. Will Luke have enough to make the pass on Skarma going down the Camel Straight as Fatboy Sim starts the final lap? Pace has actually broken DRS to Chiv, so we expect he'll be fine. We'll have a look. Both drivers will be saving their battery. Luke is that much closer to the back of Skarma. Luke will get a dose of DRS. He needs to set himself up in the source here. Is he going to make a pass on Skarma for P5? We will see. Lucalis there, look how close he is. The VCAP driver's got a tall order to defend from this, it must be said. Lucalis is that much close, he's right under the gearbox of the VCAP driver, who just fell away from his teammate, who's up in P2. Lucalis is right on the back of Skarma here. Skarma's battery's flashing, there's not a lot he can do. Lucalis with the DRS makes the pass. Lucalis recovers to a very impressive P5 for Lucalis there, but he might lose it if Lucalis is carrying a time penalty, so he's got to pull the gap on Skarma there. Having a look, is Gio going to be able to make the pass on Dale? This is the last one to look at. Chubby Slug is also there with Harv in the last point scoring positions. We're going to see what happens here. I think Lucalis might actually lose that position to Skarma. I forgot to check for penalties. Gio is that much closer to Dale, not close enough to make a move. Musty there has fallen down to P15. Looks like he's had some sort of incident. We'll see if any drivers can swap their positions. Rob is very close to the back of Chiv there. Rob could very well make a move on the McLaren driver for the last step of the podium here. Rob has saved a boatload of his battery going into the final bit here. Chubby Slug makes the pass on Big Harv. They're fighting in Brussels. Chiv tips a bit of a wheel there, but I'm going to have to go on board here with Fatboy Sim as he rounds the final corner. He's been impervious today. He's been brilliant. He's been excellent. Fatboy Sim wins the race in Spa. Hold your applause as Pace rounds the corner for P2. Rob there did make the pass on Chiv. They're so close to each other as they're side by side for the last step of the podium. Rob will take the last step of the podium. Lucalis comes home in P5 but will lose it to Skarma in P6. Arwen will take P7 as we see Bosch round the final corner here. Mika Lando very close to the back of them there. Bosch takes P8. Mika Lando will take P9. Baz there a few seconds behind looking for the last point scoring positions. Gio looks like he's fallen back as well. Don't know if there was some sort of incident. I'm sure it'll be a very busy steward's room for sure. Baz there will come home in P10. I don't know why he's gone to the top of the grid. That's not true. Big Harv will jump. So Dale moves up to P12. Big Harv for P13. Chubby Slug for P14. And we'll see Gio there come home. I think will come... No, sorry, Devereaux for P15 for the last point scoring positions. I think Gio will fall down to... Actually, do you know what? I don't know is the answer. I don't know why Baz has finished a lap ahead of Fatboy Sim, but we'll work out the final finishing order at the very end there. This is a perfect game with no bugs whatsoever, but my goodness me. Lads, what an absolutely brilliant bit of racing. That was absolute chaos. My driver of the day has to go to Skarma. A brilliant recovery drive from him. Honorary mention to Luke. It was very close to the two of them, but Skarma to go from P16 to P5 was very impressive indeed. Lucullus obviously had that lap 1 incident and then made his way back up to P6 there. Fatboy Sim obviously did very, very well indeed. Oh, right. Well, what a race that was. We'll have to figure out the final finishing position because obviously there was a bug there. But yes, brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. I'm going to see if there are any interviews coming in. I'm just waiting to hear back because we do like to do a few interviews. No interviews today. We run a little bit late. That's absolutely fine. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for a brilliant race. You know what? I said Kota was race of the season so far. I think Spa has just usurped it. Endless drama there. Absolutely endless drama. Brilliant stuff. So, we will be back next Sunday for... Let's have a look. Where are we racing next season? It's Singapore. Singapore will be a brilliant track. I'm sure it'll be. That's February 16th next Sunday. So come on along and watch that. I appreciate you all, and I will see you all